Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a controversial dish. It's technically what I used to call spaghetti bolognese. I'm not going to call it that anymore because I've learned that spaghetti bolognese was really just something that was generated over here anyway. So what I'm actually doing is a ragu sauce. I'm going to serve it with fresh tagliatelle, but I am actually using an Italian recipe book. It's from Harry's Bar in Venice. It's a very well-known bar. Some of you may have been to Venice and actually had the pleasure of eating there. It's also, they've got one in Rome as well, which is very, very beautiful. They follow all the same recipes, etc., you know, traditions. A lot of history to it as well, but I won't go in that today. It's not a history lesson, it's a cookery thing. So anyway, so what I've about 40 recipes in now, trying to find out which I felt was the most original and looking at all the differences. Ragu and bolognese, or alla bolognese, and I can't speak Italian, so forgive me. Hang on, let me get my notes about what I discovered. First of all, in Bologna in 1982, what they consider their recipe in Bologna for a bolognese sauce was registered at the Chamber of Commerce, as I say, in 1982, and it was made with chopped beef, not minced beef, chopped beef from the diaphragm of the cow beast. Bacon, carrots, celery, onion, tomato sauce, white wine, milk, broth and olive oil. That's the original recipe that was put in. And from what I can gather through all my research, ragu seems to be like a meat stew, a rich meat sauce, and you can technically work with any meat. Some of the nonnas from Italy that have got their recipes online now have actually got things like duck in, chicken livers, all sorts of things have gone into their ragu sauce. So that kind of going to call it ragu from now on, because really it's kind of a rich meat sauce. So let's get on. And today we're doing, let me open my recipe again, I've just lost it. Right guys, so I found my recipe. Right, so so in this recipe cookbook, it's called Ragu Bolognese. Okay, so what we're starting with, many times I talked to you about sofrito. It's the basis of a lot of Italian stews. So we've got chopped carrot, chopped celery, chopped onions. They're going to go into a separate pan today because I'm doing a big batch, because I'm doing a batch freeze as well. Okay, so they're going to go and start their cooking off process in olive oil, and then I'm going to, in my wok, because it's big, I'm going to put in minced pork and minced beef. Now, Harry's Bar used minced veal. I'm kind of not into veal for many, many reasons, but we won't go there. So I picked out a lot of recipes in Italy that people are using the minced pork and minced beef. So that's what we're doing today, okay? So let's get the pan on. Just get that warming up. Put that on there. I've got a tablespoonful of olive oil in here, guys. I'm going to put a little bit more because I have got a heck of a lot of ingredients here. I've got 2 medium carrots, 2 medium sticks of celery, and 1 medium-sized onion. Okay, and that's what's going into my pan. Just letting that pan warm up. And it's going to take about 10 minutes on a gentle cook. I want them to sweat and soften up. That's what I want from my carrots and celery and everything. I've got to be totally honest with you. When I've made my bolognese sauces in the past, when the grandchildren were all younger, I'd go in my veg box and literally any vegetable that was in there would go in my beef bolognese or beef ragu. But apparently, reading what I've read, you're not allowed to do that to be authentic. So today I'm going to try this more authentic recipe. It is going between 2 recipes because, as I say, I'm not a lover of veal. Right, so I'll just get that nice and hot and sizzling, and then I'm going to move it over to the smaller ring where it's going to sit there for 10 minutes while I get the meat. The meat I want to really brown, so it pays off to kind of cook that separately. You don't have to. You can always do your meat first and then put your sofrito in there. Right, I need olive oil into here. Not a lot though, because the pork and beef will have the fat in there as well. Okay, I'm using, this is a 10% fat in my beef, ground beef today. And I also found out that, or at least according to a couple of Italian chefs, the reason that they sometimes use milk in these dishes is to counteract some of the acidity from the tomatoes, which I found that quite interesting. In fact, I've found getting into the history of dishes extremely interesting. Who knows? May become a food historian. That's quite funny, really, when I think about me. Right, anyway, that's cooking away lovely. Now you do have to, I'm keeping this high because I really need this to brown up. So you do have to break it up. Shoving 2 whole cloves of garlic in there, which I fish out. It's to give a flavour. It's what they say they do in here, so let's try and stick with that. The other thing which is very unusual, I've always made my sauce with red wine. Today we're going to be using white wine, which is definitely going to give it a much lighter feel to the whole dish, I think. So it's going to be interesting. But that's cooking away lovely. That's doing exactly what I want it to do. So this is the boring bit, so I'm going to disappear for 10 minutes while I get on with breaking my meat up and making sure I get it how I want it. See you shortly. Okay, just fishing out the garlic now, what I said I would. There's the other one. Okay, right, this is doing exactly, don't worry about that sticking, because that is giving your meat more flavour. And as I put the wine in, all that's going to come off and go into the sauce. And that's kind of roasting your meat. So that is beautiful. And see how broken up it is? Lovely flecks of... Just let me stir. And my vegetables, they're just sat there and just sizzled away beautifully. They're ready to join in the game now. Now there's the brown bits that I was wanting. I'm going to add my full glass of wine. That is Italian dry wine. Now we do need to kind of let that bubble away because that's just developing the stock. So I'll give that a minute. So I'm going to add 2 spoonfuls, big spoonfuls it says, of tomato paste. Into there. Yeah, it's gone down. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going in with my can of chopped tomatoes, a full can of chopped tomatoes. Just going to put a bit of chicken stock in there to slow that can around. Okay, turn off the sofrito and I'm going to add this to the pan now. Just incorporate all this, and then last thing to go in before we, last 2 things actually, a bouquet garni. That's what Harry's bar says. So we'll shove that in. Never done that before because I would normally use oregano. And last but not least of the ingredients is my chicken stock. And that's a pint of chicken stock. Good old no stock cubes. Make sure you get it all in there. I've not added any seasoning yet because because the stock cubes are salty, I'm going to let that all develop. And as that sits there now, I'm going to give it, well, some recipes say 4 hours. Other recipes say the longer that your ragu sauce is on, the better it will be. So I'm going to probably say, I'm going to leave it to sit there on a low heat for about an hour and a half, and then we'll see where we are. We'll see, this is new to me, I don't know what I'm dealing with here. So we'll see how that sauce develops and take it from there. So I'll see you in an hour and a half. I'm going to make a dessert now while this is on. Okay, see you soon. The ragu is finished. I've given it about 2.5 hours. It was just bubbling away so gently. I thought I'm going to let it sit there. It tastes amazing. It's really different. I got quite shocked how different. In some ways, it's lighter but more meaty. I can't understand it. I can't explain how that happens, but there is definitely a massive difference, and I love it. But it's totally my sauces, ragu sauces, when they're involved being quite dark, because I've used red wine and the beef and beef stock. This is so different, but it absolutely tastes really, really lovely. It's light but meaty. It's just different. I would say to anyone, give it a try. Anyway, I haven't made my own pasta, just haven't had the time today. So I've got some fresh tagliatelle, which I'm going to put into the boiling water now. Only takes 3 minutes when you get fresh. Good old Waitrose. It was, I think. I don't think we need any more than that. It's, as you can see, it's just beautiful. Very orange, very different, because I've seen some that are bright red, but when I've actually looked on the Italian websites, all their sauces based on this recipe are that colour. So I'm quite settled with that. Right, okay. 3 minutes from now and I can serve this. Right, this is mine. That's all the green on it. I absolutely love basil. John went, ugh. That's his. Okay, this looks delicious. It smells delicious. I have tasted the sauce, guys. It is so good. So the only thing missing from that is a shout of black pepper. And we're ready to eat. And a glass of wine. I would definitely give this a go. If you want something a little bit different from you and feel more authentic or closer to Italy, give it a go. Okay, see you all later. Bye.